hell's going on? I wanted to watch the Knick game. The Knick and Spurs. And the Knicks won the World Championship. Another close game. There's 3 games less than 2 1-point games and 1 4-point game. It's just, what a weird series that was. All right. I got a couple interesting cases in here. Maybe wait a minute or two for any random people to show up. Hey, look at that, Sweet Caroline. I don't know if you're the same Sweet Caroline that we used to have in here.
Stupid is being.
Hello, freaks. Hey, did you have a bass fishing tournament this weekend? Wild Bill Wassman? But congratulations to the Knicks. They deserve it. They were the better team in the series. I still think the Spurs are like a better team than they. I don't know. It's just weird. Just they had more. I think the Knicks, like talent-wise, the Spurs are better, but the Knicks had way more heart. You know, they literally they play the way you're supposed to play, just diving on, just collapsing defense, etc. Oh, cool. All right. Hey, good to see you again, Sweet Caroline. I remember you from like years ago, but I haven't seen you in that time. Yeah. Let's see. What'd you say? Single day local derby. How'd you do in it? No points. Yeah. That's when you have your best day ever, right? And then all of a sudden, oh, there's no points. Of course. Oh, it's tomorrow. Okay. I think I missed that part. All right. All right. Well, anyways, let's do the Jennifer Cooke case first. It's one of the ones on the project. I think. Well, let's see. Not sure what you call it. Project Cold case, right? Yeah, they could have easily won almost every single game in the series. I mean, that's what's stupid about it. They should have won both games at home originally, then they lost both. They should have won game 4, they lost that one. And then this game, they were up 15 in the second half and lost that one too. Yeah. Pretty wild, pretty wild. I'll tell you what, De'Aaron Fox sucks. Okay, against us he didn't miss a shot. He made everything, and he couldn't hit the broadside of a barn in this one. He's the one that blew it. Okay, he's the reason they lost the series. He was so bad, and he just missing 8-footers, just stupid. Yep. Yeah. All right. Well, anyways, you guys, this is going to be just like any other night. If you have the ability to help support the channel while we're going through this, it's not the whiz-bang big cases that everybody talks about all the time. But they're interesting, nevertheless. So if you have the ability to and you want to help support the channel, I would appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, so the first one is this isn't that long ago. It's, 13 years ago. Jennifer Cooke, unsolved homicide victim, August 11, 2013, Grandview Heights, Ohio. That's a picture of her. Then here's a picture of her also. All right, so we'll just go through these pretty quick. I think it's pretty interesting. I think law enforcement, I mean, it's kind of obvious when you start looking at it where law enforcement is going. I think they're still looking in that direction, the direction of maybe her ex, something like that. But let's go over to the area here. It's in yeah, I think it was Ohio. Yeah. All right, right there. Yeah, they were. Just because they were wearing. It's just people are so stupid. Yeah. All right, so this is recent crime in Grandview is alarming. And by the way, this wasn't in newspapers.com. I could only find it in this other newspaper resource. I guess this might be, this is just written by a person here, but let's see, 1324, okay. As a concerned resident of Grandview Heights, I find it necessary to write about what has been going on in this neighborhood this summer, since it seems the media have been lax about reporting the happenings. This summer, 5 break-ins have happened on 5 blocks, and then it said something about, to say the least, it was disappointing to twice come home to find that several neighbors' homes and security had been violated. It was another thing entirely to come home to see my landlord tearing down our fences. Let's see. Not really sure. Oh, there it is right here. The tragic news report about Jennifer Cooke noted that she had experienced an earlier attempted break-in and wanted to get out of Grandview. So, like this lady named Jennifer Cooke, there was an attempted break-in another time, but let's see, I think that one was out of order or mismarked. Okay, let's just go with this one now. This is more like when it was happening. I don't know what that one was, sort of out of order, I think. Or, yeah. Hey, thanks, Wild Bill Wassman. A Grandview Heights woman found dead in her apartment on Sunday night had been stabbed repeatedly, but police said yesterday that the city's first homicide in 13 years appears to be an isolated incident. We don't believe that the community is any danger, said Officer Ryan Starnes, the Division Public Information Officer. He would not say why or go into further detail. Grandview residents have been uneasy since officers found the body of Jennifer Cooke, 35, in an upstairs bedroom at her apartment at 886 Woodhill Drive. And that's this apartment complex right here. And that's where the pin drops when you look it up, so it could even be that particular building right there. So it was in the upstairs. And it was 11:37 p.m. And that's when she was found. Police went there after Cooke's mother called from out of town to say she was concerned about her daughter's welfare. I wonder, so that's like, well, how come what made you call? Starnes said he would not say what prompted her concern, but friends said Cooke had been due to pick up her 10-year-old daughter after the child had spent several weeks with her father. So now it's starting to sound, okay, so the child spent several weeks with the father. Investigators were following leads, and she was supposed to go pick up the child. So investigators were following leads in a variety of directions, but couldn't reveal other details, Starnes said. We're still moving really fast, he said. Police could not even say how Cooke died, but Franklin County Coroner Jan Gorniak said an autopsy revealed multiple stab wounds. Neighbors said that they had noticed over the weekend that Cooke's car was missing, but her cat had been roaming the neighborhood for several days. So, and that's sort of interesting. That means she wasn't there to let the cat back in, and her car missing, it likely wasn't because of her. She typically asked the neighbor to care for the cat when she was away. Cooke's ex-husband, David Culbertson of Grandview Heights, found Cooke's, I mean, this is kind of odd right here, right? So Cooke's ex-husband, David Culbertson of Grandview Heights, found Cooke's 2010 Volkswagen Jetta on nearby Palmer Road shortly after her body was discovered. The keys were still inside. So did he drive the car back to the house at that point? And then there's, sort of a plausible, I mean, why did, let's say he's involved somehow. Why would he move the car over there and then find it himself? Culbertson said yesterday that he was helping Cooke's mother, so her ex-husband was helping Cooke's mother, so his ex-wife's mother, to get settled in Colombia, and that he was too upset to talk about his ex-wife. The two remained in contact after their one-year-old marriage ended last fall. They did not have children together. Cooke worked at Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center as a clinical research data coordinator in hematology. Police are asking the help from the public in establishing Cooke's whereabouts since Thursday. They can be reached, and they give a phone number. Jessica Davis lives near Cooke's apartment and said the homicide was just the latest in a string of unsettling incidents in Grandview, including recent reports of men exposing themselves to women. Hey, thanks, Shelley Sullivan. Appreciate it. Police don't believe those incidents are related to the homicide. It's scary, Davis said. There's been a man exposing themselves out there. And then you hear about this. Yeah, they don't think it's related. Hold on, then there's this one. Grandview police stay mum about stabbing. 3 times now, Wanda Jones has watched investigators come and go from the townhouse at 886 Wood Hill Drive. Jones doesn't know whether police found what they were looking for in their repeat visits to the Grandview Heights address when her neighbor Jennifer L. Cooke was stabbed to death last month. Jones trusts the police when they say that she and other residents have nothing to fear. The lack of an arrest or detailed information from investigators has left her feeling more frustrated than frightened. I wish somebody would let us know something, she said last week. It's just kind of aggravating. And then I think the next page of that is longer. And it says, more than a month has passed since the August 11th discovery of the Columbus suburbs' first homicide in 13 years. As investigators and city leaders urge patience, Cooke's friends wonder how long it will take police to find and charge the killer of the 35-year-old single mother who was known throughout Grandview for coordinating the annual Girl Scout cookie drive. Her 10-year-old daughter had been staying with the girl's father for several weeks. See, it sort of sounds like My Father's Alibi, kind of. Her 10-year-old daughter had been staying with the girl's father for several weeks when Cooke's body was found in her upstairs bedroom. She had been stabbed to death. We are all still holding our breath, waiting to hear word from the police that someone is brought to justice. Grandview police remain tight-lipped, reiterating their earlier assurance that the homicide was an isolated incident. We don't feel that any other citizens are in harm's way. That's because they already probably are developing a suspect in this case. In a city as small as Grandview Heights, a major crime such as Cooke slaying touches many. Everybody knows everybody. City Councilman Anthony Panzera said, "That's just how it is." Panzera and his wife, Julie, were Cooke's friends, and as a city official, he understands the public's concerns. Let's see, anything else in here? This part's sort of interesting. Cooke's ex-husband, David Culbertson, said he too wants her killer found. His marriage to Cooke lasted about a year and ended, last fall. And it also kind of reminds me of that one, remember the one earlier in this year where that couple was married? I can't remember the name of the people, but they were married and then they got divorced and then she remarried and had a couple kids, and then that guy went in there and killed her. It could be something like that. Let's see. Cooke's ex-husband, David Culbertson, said he too wants her killer found. His marriage to Cooke lasted about a year and ended last fall. Police had referred to Culbertson as a person of interest in the case, but Cohul would not discuss him at all last week. Culbertson, a single father of 2 boys, runs an online marketing business and has had his Grandview Heights home searched, his electronics seized, and his DNA taken. He hasn't been charged, but he said he's being railroaded. In an interview with the Dispatch, Culbertson had adamantly denied killing Cooke. He said he spent hours talking to police over 3 interviews before he realized that they suspected him. Then he hired Jennifer Coriel, who is a defense lawyer and former assistant prosecutor for Franklin County. "I didn't do it, so it never occurred to me to lawyer up. Before then," he said, "it's just got more and more hostile. I should have retained legal counsel after the second interview, but I was naive." Coriel and Grandview private investigator Martin Yance said they think that Culbertson remains a target because of tunnel vision. I mean, it is sort of interesting that they almost immediately were like, "Hey, yeah, you guys don't have to worry about anything. You don't have to worry about anything," because they already think they knew who the right person was. But hey, guys, any chance you guys could help support the channel tonight? You can tell we're not covering one of the big cases, and it's just going to be a struggle all night long. So if you guys have the ability, that would be awesome. 8 months later, no one charged in Grandview Heights murder. This is, so we get this.
Nearly 8 months after calling a person of interest in the case. Friends say they hope police make an arrest soon in the murder of Jennifer Cooke. Good evening. I'm Kristen Hartman.
And I'm Jerry Revish. Thanks for joining us at 6. Police found the 35-year-old stabbed to death in an upstairs bedroom of her Grandview Heights home. 10 TV's Maureen Kosad live at the Grandview Heights Police Department this hour with the latest on the search for her killer. Maureen.
Well, Jerry, investigators call Cooke's ex-husband a person of interest in the murder investigation. Now, today, we talked with him. We also spoke with one of Cooke's best friends who says everyone is waiting for answers. Friends say the murder of Jennifer Cooke was nothing less than surreal.
My world was turned upside down.
Jennifer Stelling says to this day it's still impossible to fathom who would want to hurt Cooke or why. She describes her friend as a devoted mother who doted on her 10-year-old daughter and everyone else for that matter.
If you had to describe her in one word, it's selfless.
Friends say Cooke was always the first person to give money to the homeless, to sign up for a charity walk. She cared so much about the environment,
Okay, so Yeah, she cared so much about the environment, she wouldn't eat, what was it? Yeah, it was just some, oh yeah, she wouldn't use paper products. It's like, okay. That's kind of weird. Police say Cooke's ex-husband is still considered a person of interest in the case. But 9 months after the murder, no charges have been filed. So that was from 9 months after. And then we have this one. 10 TV uncovers new evidence in the unsolved Grandview Heights murder from last year. So this is August 2014.
Homicide detected early this morning. Officers are at the scene on Woodhill Drive, and so is 10 TV's Kevin Landers, who joins us with the latest on the investigation. Kevin?
That's a year
Grandview
later.
police have identified this victim, a woman in her 30s, but we're not releasing her name per police because her daughter has not been notified. Behind me, Grandview police arrived at this apartment here on Woodhill during a well-being check, and it was inside that apartment on the second floor where police say they found the woman dead. Now, police say the woman is in her 30s, and investigators from the Ohio Bureau of Criminal Identification and Investigation have been processing the scene all morning. A neighbor tells me his wife noticed the victim's cat had been outside for the past 3 days and her car was gone, which they thought was very unusual. According to the neighbor, his wife went to check on the victim and noticed the back door wasn't locked. He says when his wife went inside, he noticed some furniture was misplaced. That's when she called police, thinking something was wrong. Those who live in this area say a murder so close to home is something they would never expect.
My reaction is I want to get out of here. I mean, things have been happening over and over and over again. You have, the man exposing himself and then this happening, and I just want to...
Sounds a lot like that other lady. Let's see. Grandview police officers investigating the murder of Jennifer Cooke sat in on the hearing. They heard Culbertson testifying his ex-wife was the main reason his new relationship ended. So he blames her for their relationships. That's why it kind of reminds me of that one earlier in the year. And for the first time, evidence was heard that indicates Cooke may have been fearful of her ex-husband. He had mentioned that one of his ex-wives, Jennifer, had thought he was stalking her. After that was said, lawyers objected, only to be overruled by the judge. David Culbertson maintains his innocence and no criminal charges have been filed against him. But Grandview police say he remains a person of interest. Now, let's see. Yes, we've personally asked him and we've asked his attorney several times. He declined to take a lie detector test. Police say they continue to send possible evidence to the lab in search of DNA that could lead investigators to the killer. Well, I mean, if his DNA is around, isn't it? I guess if he's not supposed to be there, like that's a new apartment after they separated, his DNA shouldn't be in there. And by the way, can you guys chat in the chat, please? It's just when you guys do this thing where you don't do a damn thing and you just stare at the screen, the YouTube algorithm just gives up, All right. That says, years later, killer still unknown. The sunflowers in Wanda Jones' backyard already bloomed and died this year. Police have said little about the slaying of Jennifer L. Cooke, 35, who was found stabbed in her Grandview Heights apartment a year ago. Hello? Okay, let's see. In an upstairs bedroom of the townhouse at 886 Woodhill Drive, it has been a long time since detectives have asked any questions, she said. Nobody's told us anything at all. In the days after Cooke was found dead, Grandview police told residents that her death was not a random attack, but a suspect has not been identified. Well, they haven't identified the person, but there is one. Yeah, they had at least that one kid. As remember he was taking care of it. We're still going to keep that under wraps, she said. Jones said she thinks about her neighbor all the time, no more than when the sunflowers that Cooke loved bloomed behind their apartment. Let's see. Culbertson was described as a person of interest by police last year. He was questioned repeatedly by investigators. His Grandview home was searched, and electronics were seized, and a DNA swab taken. In an interview with the Dispatch last year, he said he was being railroaded. All right. Right. That's what they all said. You know, Richard Allen. Well, it's like he's her ex-husband. So, I mean, the DNA, unless he, like that's a new apartment, his DNA shouldn't be there if they're divorced, unless she, we know that he invited him over. Yeah, they were only married for a year, but, maybe she had the kid before that. I don't know. I mean, you can have a child in a year. That might be why they got married, though. Maybe she was already pregnant. Would there have been a reason his DNA could... well, that's what I was saying. I don't know if, if that's like a new apartment that she moved in after they got divorced. The murder of 35-year-old, we're into 2015, 2 years later. The murder of 35-year-old Jennifer Cooke remains unsolved after nearly 2 years. The mother was found stabbed to death in her apartment in Grandview Heights. Grandview Heights police said this is not a cold case, and Cooke's friends are still confident her killer will be brought to justice. I think it was somebody who broke into the house or stopped by. For someone to do that to her, it was personal. Police agree with her. Investigators quickly named Cooke's ex-husband, David Culbertson, a person of interest in the case. It was Culbertson who found Cooke's missing car a year earlier. Cooke's filed a police report claiming Culbertson was harassing her. Police said Culbertson remains a person of interest because investigators said he continues to provide them with misleading information. Culbertson has repeatedly denied any involvement in the murder of his ex-wife. Grandview Heights police are not releasing any details about the investigation, but said they're working diligently to solve the murder of Cooke. Kerr said she won't stop until someone pays for her friend's death. I'm certainly not going to forget, and I'm not going to let it drop ever until there's justice, she said. Police said Culbertson has repeatedly declined to take a polygraph, even though investigators said it could clear his name. Cooke's mother, Charlene Marie, said 2 years after her daughter's murder, it's still too painful to talk on camera about the crime. For the last 2 years, I've been silent. I did not want to talk to the press. I wanted to grieve privately. It has been 2 years since my beautiful, kind, sweet daughter Jennifer Cooke was murdered in her bed in Grandview Heights. I feel now that the time has come to speak. My daughter is dead. A young life was taken away while the person of interest in the case continues to live his life as if nothing ever happened. Okay, so I got that one. And the next one is, now there's like a big break. Goes all the way to 2019. So now it's 6 years later. It's time. Mother speaks out. Police name suspect. So they name the suspect now. So that's pretty interesting.
In Crime Tracker 10 tonight, a mother hopes someone is... Jennifer Cooke was murdered in 2013 in a Grandview Heights home. Her killer has not been found. Tonight, Angela Reichert looked into this Crime Tracker 10 cold case, and for the very first time, police are ready to name their prime suspect.
Being here, it's stressful. I mean, I see her everywhere I go.
For Charlene Marie, it's hard to escape the pain.
They say it fades after a while, but it hasn't faded for me yet.
In a town full of memories, Grandview Heights Public Library is where she finds comfort.
Whenever I come back, I always sit on the bench. It doesn't, whether it's hot or cold.
Because this is the one place she can feel her daughter.
She was my best friend.
6 years ago, police found Jennifer Cooke murdered. The young mother repeatedly stabbed in the bedroom of her apartment on Woodhill Drive. Her car found within walking distance on Palmer Road.
Yeah, let's see where that is. Okay, so Palmer Road's right over here. I mean, it's just like, I mean, let's see if was there a way to determine? Looks like the car's already been moved back.
Woodhill Drive. Her car found within.
Yeah, it looks like it was kind of just driven back. He probably went, oh, I found her car, but moved it over here. But why did it need to be moved? I guess.
Walking distance on Palmer Road. Police believe her killer moved it there. As the years passed, with no arrests, her mother remained silent.
I know you haven't done any interviews before. Why now?
It's time, you know. There needs to be something happen, and hopefully, if this interview helps, then I have to do it. I have to do it. Yes, she'll always be Jenny to me.
On August 4th, 2013, Jenny turned 35. It seemed her life was going better than ever.
She just kind of reached her peak. She had a good job. She'd gotten through college.
All while raising her daughter, Vivian.
She was a wonderful mom. Yeah, she would do anything for Vivian.
Yeah, so that probably means that the daughter was from... I mean, it could be that the dad, you know, they were with each other a long time and then got married and then got divorced. I mean, because that child looks kind of older, so it wasn't born, you know, it would have been born like 6 or 7 years or 8 years before she was even killed, or 9 years, you know.
With everything on track, Jenny was looking for love after a divorce. But on August 11th, everything changed.
I called her, I got her phone, and it went immediately to voicemail, which gave me a sinking feeling.
Charlene, living in Arizona, eventually got a knock at her door. The news no mother wants to hear.
You know, you just think, this isn't true. This is not happening. Am I dreaming this? You know, but yeah, it was real.
What's it like knowing that the person who killed your daughter is still out there?
I'm mourning Jenny, but I'm also, well, why aren't they in jail? You know, why hasn't she gotten justice for this?
Is it fair to say...
We went to Grandview Police to find out.
I think that's our number one challenge at this point, is just getting cooperation.
For the first time, police are publicly naming a suspect.
Ms. Cooke's ex-husband, Dave Culbertson, remains a suspect.
After her murder, police named Culbertson a person of interest, searching his home and questioning him.
Creepy.
I've never been in trouble with the law.
There were numerous inconsistencies in his stories, and as we started to confront him about those inconsistencies and areas that we were interested in, he shut down.
Yeah.
We reached out to Culbertson several times with
you.
no luck. His attorney sent us this statement saying, quote, "Police have shared no information with me that would indicate they have any evidence against my client."
Well, I don't know if they have DNA in the house.
In this matter. He went on to say Culbertson answered all of...
collected his DNA.
It has been 6 years since her daughter, Jennifer Cooke.
All right. Miss Cooke's ex-husband, David Culbertson, remains a suspect. He was cooperative directly after we found Jennifer deceased, but that cooperation didn't last long. Well, he says it was because he could tell that they were focused in on him. In the past, police only referred to Culbertson as a person of interest. They searched his home and questioned him directly following Cooke's murder. There were numerous inconsistencies in his stories, Scurlock said. As we started to confront him about those inconsistencies and the areas we were interested in, he shut down. Police have shared no information with me that would indicate they have any evidence against my client in this matter. Yeah, I don't know. Well, they name him as a suspect. I think like the next day there was another article around the same time. A Grandview Heights Police Department is named suspect in the 2013 homicide of Jennifer Cooke. This just sounds like, there's so many cases that are similar. Police have named Cooke's ex-husband David Culbertson as a suspect in her murder. Cooke was found murdered inside her apartment on Woodhill Drive, August 11, 2013. All right, there's that one, and then there's another one on 2013, or 2023. Family, friends still looking for answers 10 years after Jennifer Cooke's murder. See how it just kind of eats people away? You just lasts forever and ever and ever. But hey guys, I don't want to ask again, but if you guys could help support the channel, we're currently at 1/15 of a nightly goal. So if you guys have the ability to help support the channel, that'd be great. I thought we could cover something different tonight, but it doesn't seem to be making people excited to help support the channel, which shouldn't rely on the topic. Should just be like, I do the shows, all right? So if you guys have the ability to, that would be great. 10 years after Jennifer Cooke was found murdered in her Grandview Heights apartment, the case remains unsolved. Sunday afternoon, loved ones gathered at the Grandview Heights Public Library around a bench dedicated in memory of Cooke. It says, on August 1st, 2013, Grandview Heights police were doing a welfare check at Cooke's apartment after family reported not hearing from her. Officers found an unsecured door and her body inside with multiple stab wounds. I mean, it's like an open wound, it's never going to heal. Charlene said her daughter was a friend to everybody. She was very easy to get to know. She was very sweet, very, very giving, Charlene said. Several of her Grandview Heights friends also gathered by the bench Sunday afternoon. She was very quiet, and I'm very loud, and we ended up becoming best friends. Let's see. It's like there was some other information in here. I don't know where that is currently. Like there was some guy that I'm not sure what happened to that. I don't see it. Thanks, Wild Bill Wassman. I just can't believe I have to live the rest of my life without my daughter. But in a way, I just hope that we can get justice. A $20,000 reward is still being offered to anyone who can provide information leading to an arrest. All right, let's see what this one said. So this is their, the official website. On August 11, 2013, Grandview Heights police officers responded to 886 Woodhill Drive, Grandview Heights, Ohio. On a well-being check, the resident Jennifer L. Cooke had not been heard from by her family members for an extended period of time. When officers arrived at the scene, they found an unsecured door, and Mrs. Cooke's body was found inside the apartment with multiple stab wounds. She was pronounced deceased at the scene. The Grandview Heights Police Department is offering $20,000 reward for information leading to the arrest and conviction in the death of Jennifer Cooke. Anyone with information regarding this homicide is asked to contact the Grandview Heights Police Department at 614-488-7901. No, that's something else. Yeah, it seems like there was an article, but I don't see it, where there was some guy that he was talking to or something, but it's not here. It's not in this folder. I don't know. Maybe it was my brain's just remembering something that I was looking at in a different case. I don't know. See, it sucks when you don't have, like, it'd be great to have their inside information. They wouldn't still be focused in on that guy if they didn't have, and it's kind of obvious, right? Like, you have this case where she's scared of this person. It's absolutely the same. You guys remember the case I'm talking about earlier in the year? I think, wasn't it in it was like Ohio also, right? Maybe. And it was the couple, they got married after she got a divorce, after only being married a year. It was almost identical. And then they were remarried, but they were scared. They were like dentists or something. One of them was a dentist. Thanks, Wild Bill Wassman. Who's Tepe, right? That's the one. The Tepe case. Maybe it's similar to that. I don't know. And I'd like to know, like, the child, why would the child be staying with him if that's like her biological child and they only were married for a year? Unless, like, they'd sort of, that was his kid, but they finally got married many years later. Hello. Who's saying hello to? Tuning in late. Oh, hi everyone. Okay. That's so weird. I felt like there was some other piece of information. I don't know. I don't have it. If I stumble upon it, I'll let you guys know. But I did find, here's something that's interesting. Is like, so this is where Jennifer Cooke was killed. And then after that, wait, what? Tepe? Oh, wow. It's right near the Tepe place. I guess I should have just panned down. There it was. That's crazy. Just right across the river. Jeez. How weird is that? Yeah, so that one, this Culbertson guy, he lived right here after the murder. But not directly after. He moved way over here, or like I don't know, it's pretty strange. Like in 2016, he's over there, and then he comes back and he moves right there. Like here's where she was killed, and he lives right there. I mean, that's not even, how many yards is that? It's nuts. Like, who the hell would do that? 350 yards. So he lives there now, and this is where she was killed. And then he also lived in this area. Maybe that's where he lived. See, it says 2010 to 15, so that might be where he was living prior, when they, even before they were married, and then after they got divorced or something. So she may have lived here with him. And then, let's see. So that address is 998. Let's see if she ever lived there. Here's Jennifer Cooke. Right here. See, deceased, and then address, history, 998. Okay, so it doesn't look like they ever shared that one. Not that I see, anyways. No. But he lived right there at one point. And so maybe they moved into that apartment together. I don't know. He seems to be doing pretty well. I mean, he's got a pretty big house, etc. That's crazy, though. It's so close to the Tepe incident, just right across the river there. It's almost the same case. 2.25 miles away. Isn't that weird? I didn't even notice that earlier. I was like, what, isn't that Ohio too? Turns out it's only 2 miles away. All right, we're going to move on to the next one now. But, they're probably onto the right guy. They just weren't able to prove it. Okay. Wow, look at that. 75 months. It's Zozo. I haven't seen you in a while. She's been pretty busy with stuff. How's it going? She's trying everybody to do a $2 holler. It's one of those struggling nights for unknown reasons. Nobody knows. So if you guys... I know we're not covering the big cases tonight, so... that's usually a death nail for me. Got to do what everybody wants. Foot found in river. So this is pretty weird shit. So this lady has been identified, but I went back and found the original articles, and then while doing so, I feel like I stumbled upon cases that are, some might be related, maybe, or they're similar sounding, anyways. Well, there's Wild Bill Wassman. What about the rest of you guys? 75 months. That's 6 years and 3 months of pure hell, right, Zozo? Yeah. I did see, I think Lanky Tor and Linda Howell are the only ones I've seen. They were 77 just recently. It's a long time. All right, here we go. Foot found in river may be linked to head from lake. A human foot found in the Mississippi River has been tentatively linked to the head of a woman discovered more than 20 miles away, and this is 1993, June.
Drinks a huge can of Foster's for breakfast.
Yeah. Let's see. So 20 miles away, but authorities said Tuesday that they were no closer to learning the victim's identity or how she died. Washington County deputies again searched around Bone Lake, where the head was found Saturday, and then plan to make an aerial search as well, but nothing else has been found, and Sheriff Captain David Howard said he doubted that the woman was killed near the lake in New Scandia Township. It could have happened out of state, and somebody transferred her up here, he said. Authorities yesterday released an artistic drawing of the victim, described as a white woman in her 20s or 30s, with brown eyes and dark brown to black hair, and a short, multi-layered styled spike on top, with a small pigtail in the back. 3 holes were pierced in each ear. Investigators, hey, thanks, DDWM. Yeah. Investigators are seeking to match the victim with reports of missing women. Was that all we could get with Zozo's attempt? You guys, come on. Let's try to make something happen out of tonight. I'm sorry we didn't do the big ones, Investigators are seeking to match the victim with reports of missing women, but there are hundreds to thousands of them nationally, said Dr. Michael McGee, the Washington County medical examiner. We desperately need to find out who this young lady is, he said. Investigators already have received many phone tips. Howard said most... Hey, thank you. Zozo said Jim drinks a big cup of F-Offie for dinner. Oh, God. Let's see. Investigators also have determined that the case is unrelated to a headless torso recently discovered in Litchfield, Missouri. The left foot found Monday evening on the east bank of the Mississippi near Pig's Eye Lake. Let's see where that is. So here is Pig's Eye Lake. And I think they're just saying near here. So it was found over here, I think. The left foot. Maybe it was right in that area. Because they said it wasn't really in the lake. It was in the river near the lake. The left foot Monday evening on the east bank of the Mississippi near Pig's Eye Lake in St. Paul was severed just above the ankle, McGee said. He estimated it is size 9 and added that not enough of the body had been recovered to determine the height or weight of the victim. Authorities cannot be sure the head and foot are from the same person, but they believe they are because the foot appears to be that of a young white woman. In addition, both the head and foot were severed very cleanly, possibly with the same sharp instruments, Hewer said. St. Paul Police and the Ramsey County Sheriff's Water Patrol searched the area along Childs Road where the foot washed up. Okay, let's see where that is. Okay, so Childs Road. All right, so likely didn't make it down to here then. So it was found. Probably somebody threw it off the water. I'm not sure what the flow is in here. Hold on. So it must be going towards us. So yeah, he must have thrown. He could have thrown it right over there, and it would have drifted down. So maybe right here. Authorities cannot be sure the head and foot are from the same person, but they believe they're because the foot appears to be that of a young white woman. In addition, both the head and foot were severed very cleanly, possibly with the same sharp instruments. All right, let me move on to this one. Human remains found on shore of Bone Lake. Human remains were found on the shore of Bone Lake just north of Scandia in east central Minnesota. The remains apparently washed up on the shore near the public dock and boat landing area and were found at 9 a.m. Saturday. The remains were taken to the Ramsey County Medical Examiner's office for an autopsy. And I think this is, when they say human remains, that's the skull. The head. Well, it's not even a skull. It was like a literally, I mean, it's not a, like it wasn't decomposed. It's literally the head of the person. I mean, even though it's still a head, even if it's just a skull, I'm just saying it's not like it was decomposed. And all right, so here's Bone Lake over here. And they said it was in the public, like what, a boat ramp in the public area, so right there. Washed up on the shore near the public boat dock. Right, so they probably just came over and just chucked it in down here. That's what I would say. The remains were taken to the Ramsey County Medical Examiner's office for an autopsy. The body was apparently that of an adult, but further details were unavailable, the medical examiner's office said. All right, so those are like on June 13th, 14th. This is June 16th of 1993. Police believe severed head, foot came from the same body. They said investigators believe a woman's head and foot found more than 20 miles apart came from the same body, but they're trying to determine who she was. Police released an artist's drawing of the woman's face on Tuesday in hopes of identifying her. We desperately need to find out who this young lady is, said Ramos, County Medical Examiner Michael McGee. The head was found Saturday on the shore of Bone Lake, just north of Scandia, in east central Minnesota, and that the foot was found Monday night, several miles away along the Mississippi River in St. Paul. The lake isn't connected to the river. We're assuming they are from the same person. We sincerely hope they are, McGee said. Both appear to be from a white woman in her 20s to 30s, McGee said. Both also were severed very cleanly, possibly with the same sharp instruments, according to Sheriff Captain David Hewer. The Washington County Sheriff's Department said the woman had been dead for 2 to 4 days. She has brown eyes, short spiked dark brown hair, and a triple pierced ears, but no earrings. Divers and bloodhounds searched Bone Lake but found no more evidence. All right, so we have that. Then about a month after that, just mentioned again. Look what they put in the paper, by the way. You see that right there? That means they put the freaking, that right there is the actual head that they put in there and sort of maybe just put a little something extra over here, and then they want you to recognize that. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, I could see that in that other case that we did because he looked normal, but this doesn't look normal, and I don't know what the hell you guys are doing, you know, putting in a literal severed head that looks malformed. That's not going to get anybody to say, oh, that looks like so-and-so. You know? I mean, you don't see that too often. Yeah, I'm gonna print this. Let's just print this off, or not print it, but screen grab it. I mean, look at the eyes aren't even. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I don't know. I don't know what advantage that gave you. Hey, you guys, we're only about 1/10 of the goal. So if you guys can help out, that'd be great. Okay, I'm just putting it in the folder. All right. Authorities have released a tip they got about a woman's severed head in hopes of eliciting more information about who she was and who killed her. Hey, thanks, Wild Bill Wassman. We still have no idea of who she is, said Captain David Hewer. The head washed ashore on Bone Lake in New Scandia Township in early June. Washington County authorities say a man called them saying he killed the woman. and left her body under the Mendota Bridge near the Minnesota River. The callers said, let me see where that is. It's called the Mendota Bridge. I bet that's right in between. Okay. Well, that's sort of interesting. I mean, here's where the left foot is, and then he claimed over here a caller. Let's see. Killed a woman and left her body under the Mendota Bridge near the Minnesota River. The caller said the woman was from Wisconsin, and he was sorry we didn't find the rest of her. Hewer said the police searched for about 8 hours that day before the river began flooding the area. A left foot was found a day after the head was discovered, about 20 miles away on a Mississippi River bank near Pig Eyes Lake in St. Paul. The Washington County Medical Examiner believed that the foot and head belonged to the same woman, partly because they were both cut cleanly, Hewer said. DNA tests on the tissue samples are being done to determine whether they came from the same person. The tests take 4 to 6 weeks to complete. The woman was in her late 20s or 30s with brown eyes and short, dark brown or black hair spiked on top with a small pigtail in the back. Each earlobe had 3 holes pierced for earrings. Hewer asked anyone with information that might be related to the case to call 612-439-9381. Authorities also released a computer-enhanced photograph of the woman's face. So they're saying that's... But why did you make her lips look like that? I mean, why didn't you... forget it. It's just so stupid. Computer-enhanced. Yeah, you made her look like a freaking monster on there. All right. Anyways, here we go. DNA confirms identity of missing woman. Authorities are releasing the identity of human remains found more than 3 decades ago in separate Minnesota lakes. The Washington County Sheriff's Office says Denise Hartley was 27 years old when she went missing from St. Paul. So that's in Minnesota, not Wisconsin like that caller. In 1993, a human head was found near Bone Lake in Scandia 33 years ago. A day later, a human foot was recovered from Pig Eye Lake in St. Paul. Hartley was recently identified with the use of DNA technology. No one is in custody. No one is in custody, it says. Okay, so that's it. I mean, there's that, but then there's, obviously, I have more. Yeah, let's play this. So look at.
A woman who was dismembered in 1993. Fox 9's Courtney Hoggard shows us why identifying her is a big step, but this investigation...
Thanks to scientific advancements...
See, look, that was the sketch they came up with a long time ago. See that? I guess, so let's see.
Thanks to...
All right. So we see that, and then... So first of all, you have that and that. I mean... I don't know. I don't know if somebody's going to... I mean, I see, sure, the forehead. I don't know. I don't know how you're going to have somebody... You take that sketch and they're going to recognize this thing, this face they put in there. And not only that, she doesn't look like... This sketch doesn't look like the actual person. Although, obviously her hair was like that at the time. But that's not what people recognized her as having.
Scientific advancements over 3 decades. Police found a foot here at Pig's Eye Lake in June of 1993, a day after they found a severed head up at Bone Lake in Washington County, about 40 miles away. But it took them decades of developments in DNA analysis and genealogy before they could identify her as Denise Hartley. The 27-year-old and youngest of 15 siblings had moved from Ohio to...
See, look at that right there. That doesn't look anything like that sketch isn't going to let you know anything.
St. Paul in 1992 for a fresh start, leaving behind a daughter.
That's the picture in the, so you look at that and then you look at this. I'm not sure anybody in the world out there is going to go, oh yeah, that's so-and-so. You know? Just isn't going to work.
With her family. There's no record of a missing persons report, and a police sketch of the victim's face didn't bear much resemblance to Hartley's earlier photos.
I was confident that
your photos.
Hold on. Yeah, look at that. It just shows you, man, sketches and whatnot, they just don't do anything.
The victim's face didn't bear much resemblance to Hartley's earlier photos.
I was confident that once the etching came out, somebody's going to see this person.
I mean, that's back then. That video right there is from 1993.
I recognize him. Yeah, that was Monday, Tuesday. And now being Friday, we have nothing really to go on.
Investigators never connected her to the body parts and struggled to find any thread to follow.
It became to a point where there was realistically not a lot else they could do.
The one big clue in 93 was a phone call confession from an unidentified man who said the missing body parts would be found under the Mendota Bridge. Police couldn't trace the call, and a search of the area came up empty.
But they also said she was from Wisconsin.
It could have been the suspect. It absolutely could have just been some random person, yeah.
Fast forward 30 years, and the DNA Doe Project invested in genealogical testing.
There's that. That's the exact ramp I think I picked there. Let's see. Yep. That's it. See that?
Pointing to a second cousin, and then her daughter. New testing confirmed Hartley was the victim, giving investigators one big answer and a whole lot of new.
So I mean, now that does help out a lot, because then you can figure out, well, who the hell was she talking to? I mean, was she a? I mean to say it, but maybe is there any chance she became a sex worker? I mean, it seems strange, like totally different look, etc.
Before, hoping to hone in on her killer.
I don't know.
They gave the family closure, and now they'll try to add justice for Denise Hartley. Corin Hoggard, Fox 9.
Pretty weird. All right, guys, what do I need to do tonight to get the support for the channel up? I don't know if I can do any better show than I'm just doing what I can. Right now we're currently at 1/10, or 1/9 actually, of the nightly goal. Did that one, and this one. So investigators in Washington County, Minnesota say they've identified the human remains found in 2 Twin City lakes more than 3 decades ago. Denise Elaine Sexton Hartley, the youngest of 15 siblings. Wow, 15 siblings. Jesus. From St. Paul, disappeared in 1993 at the age of 27. Man, her mom must have never not been pregnant. I mean, that is just like... In June of that year, severed human head was discovered near Bone Lake in Scandia, and a foot was found in Pig Eye Lake in St. Paul a day later. Investigators were unable to identify the remains until they harnessed investigative genetic genealogy in 2024. Ultimately, they were led to Hartley and were able to obtain a DNA sample from her daughter. Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension investigators were able to identify the remains as Hartley's, the Washington County Sheriff's Office said. Tracy Anders and the DNA Doe Project, a nonprofit that has found leads on more than 150 cases by using powerful new genetic genealogy technology. Somebody obviously went to great lengths to make sure that Denise's name was taken from her. It was very important to us to be able to give her name back and give her family answers. We actually used the DNA Doe Project on one of the funded ones that we did a long time ago. Still, investigators say they're unsure of the manner and cause of Hartley's death. No one has been arrested. Cases like this stay with you, said Washington County Sheriff Detective Clayton Evans. Yeah, what a weird... Seems like like a serial killer would do something like that. I mean, why would you do that? But hey, guys, you guys are, we do on my show, I do my show every single night, and we, the channel's donated over $298,000 so far, and since January 2020, and that really only happens is when you guys are supporting the channel. So we wouldn't be able to do that if we had nights like this constantly over and over again. So if you guys have the ability to help support the channel, that'd be great. We could use some gifted memberships for people. We've only got 4 gifted memberships tonight. And we're currently only at, like I said, about 1/8 or 1/9 of just a normal nightly goal. So if you could consider supporting the channel, I would appreciate it. I don't have a magic way to make, ad revenue on a show or anything. I just do it. Let's see. So yeah. So I mean, basically, that's going to be about the same. But so that's where they're saying. That's interesting. Is that where the investigators, Washington County, Minnesota, say they identified the human remains found in 2 Twin Cities lakes? I wonder where they're looking right there. Is it this one? I don't think so. I bet you that's that other spot at Pig's Eye Lake. And so, let's see. What does that look like? Is it right there? Oh, weird. I can see the skyline over there. Come on. That's interesting. Hold on. Just in that really small picture that I was just looking at. Right there. You can see the city in the background. So it's got to be this one. And I see... I'm pretty sure... Yeah, that's definitely... Let's see, one. Then it goes... Yeah, so that means it's just right over here. It could be... I'm just looking at that city. See the city in the background way over there? So you can see that. See that building there? That's this one. And then it looks like something like that is probably here. But something was built. Here, let's see. Yeah. I wonder if there's a street view right over. Yeah, let's go to like right over here. Maybe I can. Now you can go in the middle of the river. Sweet. All right. Yeah, so you can see just about everything in there, but that obviously whatever that is not there now. And then it looks like there's a second building here. I can see that little tiny thing is right there. Guess nobody heard what I said. Man, that's so, just such a demoralizing, you know. Let's see. Oh yeah, so that kind of proves that you got to keep moving like this. Oh, there you go. Yeah, like kind of like, hold on, bing, ding. Oh wait, I think I got to keep going like this even. Hold on. Ah, Jesus, come on. I can see it over here though. I can see it as I'm moving it. Yeah, here we go. Now we're almost in the right spot. That's wild. Here, look at this now. Look at. See that? That little building there is right in the right spot. Everything's in the right spot. Let's see, do I keep moving this way? Yeah, there you go. I got to keep going this way. You see how that popped out, that other one? See, now we got this one, that, this one, this one, that one, this. Everything's in the right spot. And so that means they're probably just like right here, I would think. Maybe just right on this bank in this picture here. Yeah, about right there. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, so that means they were searching here for sure, all the way over to this area. All right, well, it's kind of, it's not as near the lake as we thought, but they could have just been filming people searching over here, Like here's where they sort of explained it off of that road, but this is kind of off that road too. But this kind of would make sense to search. This is actually where I pointed out that they maybe threw the body into the water, and then they're searching in that video right here where that would be. Because here's a bridge, you come over, maybe pull over, in the middle of the night. I don't know if you can drive here or if that's just a walking bridge, but, maybe you pull over, park there, put the body in the water, and then get the hell out of there. Done that. But see how cool that was to dial in, like precisely where they're looking from? That's how you do it, right there. Okay, but while I was looking for that case, trying to find it, because, they didn't know who the person was, right? So there's no way to look up her name. So you have to type stuff in like dismembered body or dismembered foot, or, they didn't say a head was found. They said body part, but the recent article said head. So, when I did that, though, I stumbled upon like this one, Illinois state dismemberment cases seem similar. This is in Minnesota, but, Illinois is right there. It says dogs found parts from a young woman in rural area of Wright County, Minnesota. So this is in Minnesota, near Interstate Highway 94 last summer. and the previous fall. The same thing happened more than 400 miles away last week near I-94 in a rural area of Lake County, Illinois, north of Chicago. Both victims are believed to have been murdered, and the similarities have Minnesota and Illinois officials comparing notes. Let's say it's curious, Wright County Sheriff Don Hozempa said Wednesday. However, there is no way to tell if the cases are related without more information, he said. The Wright County victim, so Wright County is in Minnesota. That's the same state as Denise Hartley. The Wright County victim was identified as Martha Ann Bacon, 31, a Minneapolis area sex worker who disappeared in the late September of 1993. Isn't that crazy? Because this Denise Hartley went missing in, you're getting close to that time. Hold on. She went missing in, let me just get in June, right? So June, July, August, September, right? You're getting close to that time. The Wright County victim was identified as Martha Ann Bacon, 31, a Minneapolis area prostitute who disappeared in late September 1993. Officers have said she may have been murdered by a customer. No one has been arrested. So I'm kind of curious if Denise Hartley maybe was in that arena, of sex working. I don't know. I'm just asking the question. In Lake County, Illinois, a dog listen to this. In Lake County, Illinois, a dog dragged home one of the victim's legs on January 16th and the other last Saturday. The footless limbs had been cut 2 to 3 inches above the knee and just below the calf, said Corporal Kurt Corsi of the Lake County Sheriff's Department in Illinois. The legs belong to a fair-skinned female, aged 15 to mid-20s, who stood 5'3" to 5'7", Corsi said. No one of that description is missing from the area, he said. The body parts were found by a German shepherd named Friendly, who roams about 400 acres of rural land 2 to 3 miles west of I-94 and just south of the Wisconsin border. Sheriff's officers made arrangements with the Illinois Conservation Department to borrow a radio transmitter to hook to Friendly's collar in hopes that her roamings can be tracked over the next several days. Hozempa said her department, Minneapolis Police, and the State Bureau of Criminal Apprehension are still investigating. So I'm just wondering, it's not really that common to have all these dismemberments. But when you have multiple dismemberments in a geographical area during a certain time frame, I think it's interesting. This Martha Bacon case right here has never been solved. Nor has Denise Hartley's case been solved. Her name is finally out there, but let's see. The hell's the pool efforts? I'm not sure. Not sure what's going on with that one. Okay, body discovered in county where parts of missing woman were found. A badly decomposed body was found Saturday in a roadside ditch near Albertsville. The Wright County Sheriff's Department said Monday it was found in Frankfort Township by a sheriff's deputy. Says the Hennepin County Medical Examiner will perform an autopsy. Further details are expected to be released. In October of 1993, a hunting dog in the Wright County Silver Creek Township brought home the severed arm of Martha Ann Bacon, 31, a Minneapolis woman who had disappeared a month earlier. More of her body parts were found in August in that area. Hozempa would not comment on whether the two discoveries are related. I mean, this... yeah, it's... I don't know, man. I just feel like some of these are connected somehow. Let's see. Investigators are looking at people who have criminal records or other factors to indicate they might have killed the Minneapolis woman and left her body parts in swampy areas. I think is that what the? Let's see. So this is just it right here. So sheriff tries to reassure Wright County residents. Nearly 100 residents of northwestern Wright County heard their sheriff say Wednesday night that they live in a fantastic place, despite recent findings of human body parts. I mean, it's sort of like it's completely negated. Once you start finding body parts, you can't then claim we live in a great place, you know. Doesn't work that way. Despite recent findings of human body parts, the abduction of a child, and a rash of daylight home burglaries, the body parts from a missing Minneapolis woman and the abduction which resulted in quick arrests were aberrations. The burglaries reflect the growing march of population growth into this land of woods, farm fields, and water holes. Silver Creek Township, about 40 miles northwest of Minneapolis, has grown by 25% since 1980 to an estimated 2,216. Many of the newcomers have built homes back from the roads, Ozempa said. It is an isolated area. Many of the houses you can't see them unless you got a helicopter. A little bit like Nancy Guthrie's neighborhood. You can't, I mean, they're right there, but you can't see them. Some of the residents who crowded into the town hall came for advice about burglary protection. Some out of concern for their children, and some out of curiosity about the body part findings in their community. Ozempa, joined by 4 deputies and County Attorney Y.M. Nelson, offered a bit of news. Investigators are looking at people who have criminal records or other factors to indicate they might have killed the Minneapolis woman and left her body parts in swampy areas of the township. However, they have not accumulated enough evidence to make an arrest or even obtain a search warrant. Arm and leg bones were dragged home by dogs last fall. More bones and a head were found last month. All were identified as remains of Martha Bacon, 31, who disappeared. So again, like you've got somebody cutting off the head, the arms and everything. Same year, same state, and both unsolved, who disappeared from Minneapolis Street about 1 a.m. last September 27th or 28th. So that's just 3 months after Denise Hartley was killed. Authorities said she was a prostitute, and they speculated that she met a customer who killed and dismembered her. Well, that's insane. That's what it sounds like, a serial killer. They picked sex workers. Minneapolis police and agents of the State Bureau of Criminal Apprehension also are investigating the case. I think someday we're going to find out who did this. Residents expressed concern for their children. In July, a 12-year-old girl riding her bicycle on Township Road was abducted at 5:30 p.m. by a man who drove her around for about 30 minutes before releasing her. Wayne James Pauley, 31, who had lived in the Monticello area, was arrested in Hennepin County. He was charged not only with kidnapping the girl, but with kidnapping and assaulting a girl near Foley, Minnesota in March of '92. So he was going to do that to her. Nelson said Pauley had been found mentally incompetent. Anyways, they're going on to a different stuff. All right, so this is August 16th, 1994. swamp's edge close to gravel roads amid the rolling farmlands of northern Wright County. And so the sheriff said Monday it would be easy for someone to fling human body parts from a roadside into a watery grave. The person who did it was probably someone, a former resident, let's see, a former resident, hunting or a hunter or traveler who was familiar with the area of farms, woods, and water west of Monticello. A dog retrieved human remains. Yes, this is, let's see, 94. I guess that's, hold on. Oh, no wonder those things were out of order. Okay, hold on. Okay, this one sort of was out of order from that last one, but let's see. A dog retrieved human remains, a right foot and leg below the knee, in Silver Creek Township Saturday. It was the third such discovery in the township since last fall, and it could be linked to last September's disappearance of Martha Bacon. So they connected all those parts to the same person. Dogs from the area dragged home a hand and forearm belonging to Bacon in October, and they dragged home her arm and leg bones a few days later. The sheriff said these remains were found about 1.5 miles from where the human remains were discovered over the weekend along a road leading into the area. Although the speculation is that the latest discovery is linked to the others, Ozempic said, we're not going to presume anything until the pathologist tells us. The remains were sent to the Hennepin County Medical Examiner, and the sheriff said he is hoping for results by the end of the week. This is the first time we really know where a part was found, Ozempic said. The dog's owner, a Sherburne County man, looked for a place to hunt deer this fall, was with the animal when it retrieved the leg and foot at about 8:40 p.m. Saturday from a swamp northeast of County Road. God, could you imagine? You have a dog and then somebody... Yeah, it's Martha Bacon, yeah. Yeah. The sheriff said the leg and foot were relatively well preserved, probably because they'd been underwater. He said 40 to 50 people searched the area Sunday, but they found nothing else. If this is Martha Bacon, then I have plans to walk this swamp with people hand in hand. But hey guys, could you please help support the channel tonight? We are still currently at the exact same number we were a while ago, at 1/8 of the nightly goal. Bacon's family was notified of the latest discovery. He said she was last seen at about 1 a.m. September 27th or 28th on a North Minneapolis street, and authorities have speculated that she was murdered by a customer. She was unmarried and had no children. She had lived with a man in Brooklyn Park for several months. No one has been arrested in connection with her disappearance. Nobody has really been eliminated. All right. How come those are... All right. There we go. I'll go to this one. Okay, so a body was found in the same area as where her body was found, the one we were just talking about. Then, let's see, 1994, November. Yeah, I don't know why. Okay, her name doesn't show up on this page anywhere. Oh yeah, this is it right here. Police from several Twin City agencies met Wednesday to consider forming a task force to investigate the slayings of 8 women with links to prostitution. The deaths occurred over the past 3 years. Several of the bodies were dumped in farmer fields or wooded areas. Some had been mutilated. What's wrong when you said, did he say Martha Bacon? What made you get excited about that? Police have said the slayings remained open cases and do not appear to be the work of a single assailant. But women's rights advocates have contended that a coordinated investigation is long overdue. Representatives from Ramsey and Hennepin County Sheriff's Department, St. Paul, and Minneapolis Police, the State Bureau of Criminal Apprehension, and the FBI met for an hour in the Minneapolis Police Chief's office, but left without commenting on their deliberations. However, sources said the meeting was to determine if a task force should coordinate the murder investigations. At least 3 of the deaths reportedly were similar enough to suggest a possible common suspect to some of the sources. Some of the other investigators apparently remained unconvinced. Several of the victims had been strangled. Others were stabbed. Police are expected to formally announce their plans today, but apparently are not ready to suggest that a serial killer is on the loose. Let's see. So 8B. So maybe like 33. I guess this is just one of those nights, huh? Man. Yeah, I guess we're not gonna. 8B's gone. Unfortunately. Oh well. Hey, thanks for the penny. Awesome. Let's see. Hey, you guys, look at that. Jim Lawn. He has a challenge. Will you guys meet that one? I need your guys' help in here. He's got a challenge. If you guys do, if 5 of you, since my words don't have any effect on you at all, if 5 of you do 1 channel membership, he'll donate 5 all by himself. So he'll donate $25 worth if just 5 of you do $5. All right, so let's see if we can do that one without too much time and prodding along and me having to, say, hey, you guys, we got Jim Lawn doing a challenge. Let's just see if we can do it. All right. Hey, thanks, honey. And there's Wild Bill Wassman again. You know what? Wild Bill's like OG Anobi. Like when the Knicks there's nothing going on, he'll keep them alive. Yeah, it's like it's all right. So I need 3 more of you to help support the channel so that Jim will do his challenge. All right. Yeah, and then there's this in Illinois. Dogs found body parts from young women in rural area of Wright County, Minnesota, near Interstate Highway. This is the one we already did a while ago. But they think it's similar to the Martha Bacon case. And then that one led to... So Martha Bacon's not solved either. And then there was this one. This was 2001 in Minnesota, which is not, it's only 8 years later. All right, did you guys see the challenge that Jim put out here? This is exactly what I'm talking about. I'm now having to say, hey, you guys, let's try to reach the challenge by Jim Lawn. That's been a really horrendous night in here, so if we could just try to get that one done, at least we'd be somewhere around 1/3 of a nightly goal. Investigators continued Saturday to follow leads in the death of a 38-year-old Minneapolis woman. Again, listen to this, whose dismembered body was found Thursday afternoon in Theodore Worth Park. Let's see where that is. Yes, that's right over here. I mean, that's pretty close, right? Yeah, see? That's not ridiculously far away or anything. I mean, I don't know about you, but I don't see, like, dismemberments all the time in the news. Hey, thanks, Michelle H. And Honey Bee Fly. So I guess we need one more now, you guys. Who's going to do it? Right? Wasn't there two up there? And Honey Bee Fly did two of them. So we need one more from somebody. Investigators continued Saturday to follow leads in the death of a 38-year-old Minneapolis woman whose dismembered body was found Thursday afternoon in Theodore Worth Park. The Hennepin County Medical Examiner's Office hadn't finished an autopsy Saturday, so neither her name nor the cause of her death was released. That's right, she does have a name. Authorities do not have a suspect, but Police Lieutenant Dan Grout called it an extremely active investigation. He said authorities have a good idea of the woman's identity, adding that the wording in here is wrong. She did not appear to have a criminal record. It says, she does not appear to have. He declined to discuss how the body had been dismembered or what evidence police may have found at the site, the Eloise Butler Wildflower Garden, where her remains were discovered. Where's that? Eloise. Wild. There it is. It says over here. All right, looks like they did it for you, Jim. And thanks, Honey Bee Fly, again. You did 3 of them. Thank you. And there's Jim Lawn. All right. Thanks, Jim. Yeah, at least we didn't get skunked tonight, you know. Anyways. So they think they know who this person is. He declined to discuss how the body had been dismembered or what evidence police may have found at the site in the Eloise Butler Wildflower Garden, where her remains were discovered about 5 p.m. Thursday. Could you imagine going to like a wildflower garden and then you see a dismembered body sitting there? I mean, it's like the most it's completely the opposite of what you were doing. And welcome all the new members, and thanks again there, Jim. And just for you, Jim, we'll play your... Hold on.
1.21 gigawatts! What the hell is a gigawatt?
There you go, there you go. He declined to discuss how the body had been dismembered or what evidence police may have found at the site in the Eloise Butler Wildlife Garden where her remains were discovered about 5 p.m. Thursday. The body was not dismembered where she was found, authorities said. That means there was no blood on the ground, or, not like a significant amount. The garden was open to the public Saturday as members of the State Bureau of Criminal Apprehension were surveying the area, which is standard procedure in such cases. Grout said again that he is confident that police arrested the right man 5 years ago in the killing of 4 suspected prostitutes whose bodies were dumped in and around Worth Park. Mark A. Prophet, 37, was convicted in 1993. Isn't that weird? 93 is the same year as Denise Hartley. I mean, just convicted in 1993 of one of these killings. He is serving a life sentence at Oak Park Heights Prison for strangling Renee Bell, whose body was found in Bassett Creek in Minneapolis. He has denied killing her. In the coming days, Grout said investigators will start looking at other unsolved cases in which victims have been dismembered. Well, that is Denise Hartley. They include Martha Ann Bacon, that's one that we talked about, whose arm was found near a wildlife refuge in Wright County in October of 1993. Bacon, 30, had a history of prostitution and drug use. Her other remains have never been located. A head, oh, there you go, look at that. A head and foot linked to an unidentified woman. I didn't know there was an article connecting these. I just saw the one with Martha Bacon in it. So this one is actually literally mentioning Denise Hartley's case. Isn't that crazy? Look at that. So I was connecting Martha Ann Bacon before, just for the hell of it, because it seemed like it was so similar in the same 3 months later. And now this article is doing that very same thing. It's got Martha Ann Bacon, then it says a head and foot linked to an unidentified woman in June of 1993. Her head was found floating along the shore of Bone Lake in New Scandia Township in Washington County. Her left foot was found about 20 miles away on a Mississippi River bank near Pig's Eye Lake in St. Paul. The decapitated bodies of a woman and boy, believed to be mother and son, found in a roadside ditch near Rochester in November 1999. A Cascade Township maintenance worker found the bodies in black garbage bags, and authorities have said they don't know how they were killed, but said they probably were killed elsewhere. All right, we'll check this thing out. And then right here it said, a torso found may belong to a woman. Police believe a torso found Thursday in northwest Minneapolis may belong to a woman. This is 2001, the same case. Torso was found by a man walking his dog, and they said let me start over again. Police believe a torso found Thursday in northeast Minneapolis may belong to a woman whose partial remains were found in a city park last month. The torso was found by a man walking his dog in a grassy area near some railroad tracks. Autopsy results were pending to determine whether the torso belongs to Wendy Bozeman, 39, of Minneapolis, whose remains were found in Theodore Worth Park. So that's her name, Wendy Bozeman. So I'm going to put that right here. That's pretty crazy, though, that they did the same thing. All right. Let's see. Bozeman, 39, of Minneapolis, whose remains were found in Theodore Worth Park in May. Last week, Marcus Keith Miller, 42, was charged with and second-degree murder in Bozeman's death. Investigators say videotape from a surveillance camera at Theodore Worth Park linked Miller to the remains. So did this Marcus Keith Miller kill Denise Hartley? That's what I want to know. I mean, so this guy, I mean, this is 2001, so it's not like, decades later. It's literally 8 years later. And so they have that. So let's look him up really quick. Marcus Keith Miller. Let's see. Let's see. Well, let's just look him up in here. So this is Minnesota. I gotta go back. (1990 to 2004). Minnesota. Okay, is that the same one? Yeah, it's the same one. Marcus Miller. Maybe if I put K in there. Okay, there he is. There's a different one. There you go. Suspect charged in Worth Park case. Yeah, that's Wendy Bozeman. Let's see, a nightclub DJ extensively cleaned his North Minneapolis warehouse apartment, including retiling his bathroom floor to hide evidence that he beat, strangled, stabbed, and dismembered 39-year-old woman, according to murder charges filed Monday. So I you know what? I wouldn't be shocked at all if this guy did Denise Hartley. Marcus K. Miller, 42, was charged with first and second degree intentional murder in the death of Wendy Bozeman, 39, of Minneapolis. The partial remains of Bozeman, the mother of 2 children, were discovered by a woman walking her dog in the Eloise Butler Wildflower Garden in Theodore Worth Park about 5:30 p.m. May 31st. Through his attorney, Miller denied knowledge of the killing. He remained in the Hennepin County Jail Monday in lieu of a $1 million bail. This is an extremely disturbing case involving a defendant who went to great lengths to cover up his violent murder of Miss Bozeman, said County Attorney Amy Klobuchar. That's pretty funny. But Alfred A. Griffin, Miller's attorney, called the evidence circumstantial. Let's see if we got it. Another one. Marcus Miller. I think I found him somewhere else. Let's see, how about 2002? Okay. Well, so this is the case. There he is. Marcus Miller did not take the stand to testify in his own defense, saying that only he could defend himself. A man charged with killing and dismembering a Minneapolis woman fired his 2 public defenders Thursday and gave the closing argument in his murder trial. I'm not a lawyer, and my understanding is limited to what I see and hear on television, said Marcus K. Miller, a disc jockey in a nightclub speaking to jurors. About 5 hours later, they found him guilty of first and second degree murder for killing Wendy F. Bozeman last May 31st. Miller, 43, of Minneapolis, was immediately sentenced to life in prison by Hennepin County District Judge Alan Oleski. Bozeman's daughter, Demishi Bozeman, told the judge before the sentencing that Miller had taken a very special person who was loved by everyone. My little brother, Darren Bozeman, 15, and I no longer have a mother to call when things are not right, she said. She won't be in the front row at my graduation this summer, screaming, "That's my baby, that's my baby." The partial remains of Bozeman, 39, were found in the Eloise Butler Wildlife Garden in Theodore Wirth Park in Golden Valley by a woman walking her dog about 5:30 p.m. May 31st. Another bag containing what appeared to be blood and tissue was found in a garbage can in the park. Also found were receipts for a parking lot in the 400 block of Hennepin Avenue South near Augie's Bar, where Miller worked. That's pretty interesting. I want to keep going. You know what I'm saying? 3, let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7. Bozeman's torso was found June 21st near railroad tracks behind 1500 Northeast Marshall Street. Miller told the judge before sentencing that he was shocked by the verdict and that he had nothing to do with the killing. I know who did it. Okay. These are very dangerous people. One way or another, I'm going to die anyway. The parking receipts and a tape from a surveillance camera facing the garbage can in the park led police to Miller. The tape showed the driver of a geo tracker parking his vehicle at about 3:30 p.m. May 31st and carrying a plastic bag to the garbage can. Police, using the information from the parking receipts, went to the lot on Hennepin Avenue where they found the geo tracker. It was traced to Miller. Fingerprints on the garbage bag also matched Miller's. Bozeman's blood was found in the bathroom of Miller's apartment. Oh, man, so he took her home and did all this and that. Now he's out distributing the bags of body parts. Don't you think this guy is really, like, there's a chance that he killed Denise Hartley? I mean, what did she do? You know, like, I don't know, man. This seems like he did the same thing. And it's not that far away either. I mean, how old is he here, by the way? Miller told the jury there were things he couldn't explain and suggested that the blood could have been planted, in his apartment. That's what even what the conspiracy theorists always do. They go to the planting because their theories are so stupid that then they go, well, it was planted then. You know, there's cover-ups all the time, Gray. He said there wasn't proof beyond a reasonable doubt that he had murdered and dismembered Bozeman. In allowing Miller to represent himself, the judge cited a 1990 Minnesota Supreme Court ruling that a murder suspect had the right to serve as his own attorney. Miller's attorney, Jeff Ward, and Stuart Mogelson told the judge they disagreed with Miller's decision. Miller told the judge in his closing argument that the puzzle pieces presented by the prosecution, including DNA evidence, didn't fit together. And quoting the famous line about bloody glove, if it doesn't fit, you must have quit. Hawley told the jury that Miller beat, stabbed, that's the prosecutor, beat, stabbed, choked Bozeman before hacking her body into pieces. It's clear he intended her death. Miller may have picked up Bozeman, who worked as a prostitute, to buy crack cocaine on the street, Hawley said. She also said that They may have known each other through KMOJ radio, where Miller had worked. Hawley said the lack of defensive wounds on Bozeman indicated that she was surprised by the attack. Miller told the jury that he had been ruled out as the source of some of the DNA evidence and that it was not Bozeman's DNA that was found on a light switch in his apartment. Okay, but so somebody else used your apartment? Okay. Rodney Johnson, owner of the Augie's Bar, testified that Miller did not work May 31st, his day off. But he said Miller had worked until he was arrested June 7th. Johnson said he saw no change in Miller's demeanor during that time. Miller told the jury that if he had committed the gruesome murder, he wouldn't have been able to function normally at work. The judge told the jury to disregard the statement. Earlier this week, Miller's attorney had argued unsuccessfully on the basis of a new decision by the Minnesota Court of Appeals that the DNA evidence could not be admitted. It was considered critical to the prosecution. County Attorney Amy Klobuchar said she was pleased with the verdict. He went to lengths to cover up the crime, including retiling the bathroom, Klobuchar said. Let's see if his name continues anytime. Well, what was that article that we were just reading? I think I got to go back. Or it was the one, not that one. I think it could have been this one. No, not that one. Was it this one? Yeah. So what's this one over here? The decapitated bodies of a woman and boy believed to be mother and son. All right, let's go look this one up now. All right, let's see. Mother and son decapitated. 1999. Minnesota. A ring worn by a woman whose nude, decapitated body was found stuffed in a plastic garbage bag outside of Rochester, Minnesota. Here, I gotta put this in there. Let's see. Mother, son, decapitated, Minnesota. I guess you don't want to live in Minnesota. I mean, this is ridiculous. Rochester, Minnesota appears to be one-of-a-kind item made of 14-karat gold. The woman's body was found Friday on a rural road on an outskirts of Rochester. Alongside it was a second garbage bag containing the decapitated body of a boy between the age of 3 and 6. Who the hell would do that? Authorities originally thought the ring worn on the middle finger of the woman's left hand was made of copper. This is just a grim, like this thing is just all going in crazy directions. On Sunday, investigators said it is made of gold and appears to be handcrafted. Investigators estimated its value at less than $100. Stuff in a plastic garbage bag. Okay, so this, what date is this one? November 29th? Let's just put November right here. November 1999. And then, okay, 29th. So now we got November. There's got to be one like on the 28th. No, 29th. So that's it. I guess. A woman whose nude, decapitated body was found stuffed in a plastic garbage bag outside of Rochester, Minnesota. Appears to be one of a kind, a ring-worn. Okay, so they're trying to identify them or something, or... Authorities, however, refused to say whether the victims had been sexually assaulted, whether they were mutilated in any way besides the decapitation. I mean, why would you cut their heads off, but then keep them together in plastic bags? See, that's something really disturbing about that. Like, I mean, you're not trying to hide anything. You literally cut their heads off and put them in one individual bag. So you cut their heads off for a reason other than them not being identified. You know what I'm saying? The bodies were so decomposed when they were found that autopsies on Saturday were inconclusive. The medical examiner also couldn't determine the race of the victims. Fingerprints taken from the bodies will only yield a match if the prints are on file somewhere. All right, what about the 30th? Oops, what the... Oh, is that a... That's a movie. Okay, so let me go to December of 1999. Let's see. Jeez. Decapitated black bag. Yeah, so it doesn't even have that. Let me go back to the... November. So what is it? How's it referring to them? Okay. Worn by a woman whose nude, decapitated body was found. That's almost like Rex Heuermann, you know? Like he, I don't know, it's weird. You know, they're nude, decapitated. She was probably the target, obviously. And then the other kid was just decapitated, you know? Although he didn't do that child in the Heuermann case. The woman's body was found Friday on a rural road on the outskirts of Rochester. Okay. Let me just type in decapitated woman. Is that going to come up with more? So there's that. An awful crime with few clues. I think that's the same. They've called it. State and federal investigators taken the case to the media and put the grisly details online. They've talked with forensic anthropologists and federal criminal profilers and checked with investigators who study the reasons killers decapitate their victims. This is it, right? Yeah. Over the past 4 days, they've received nearly 40 leads, but so far none of them have given Olmsted County authorities a clue to the identity of the decapitated woman, and boy found Friday in plastic bags on a rural road northwest of Rochester, Minnesota. We're doing everything we possibly can to get the word out. Sheriff Steve, Borchardt said Monday. But I can assure you at this point, we've not uncovered anything earth-shattering. Monday was the first full business day since the bodies were found. Man, Jessica typed in good question about 25 minutes ago. All right. Yeah, here's that ring there. They had to have identified them by now, though. Let's see. Minnesota mother and son decapitated 1999. In November of 1999, the decapitated bodies of 34-year-old, there you go, Mary Zaman and her 3-year-old nephew, Mohammed Tassin Tef. All right, so now we at least know that they have a name. God, I wonder if that was some sort of honor killing or something. I mean, that would almost make sense, you know. Investigators identified the victim using DNA. The primary suspect, Mary's husband, there you go, see, Iqbal Ahmed, fled to Bangladesh soon after the murders. Ahmed was never arrested and received a life sentence in Bangladesh for an unrelated double murder. Because Ahmed is incarcerated overseas, the Olmsted County case remains open to ensure ongoing legal action. See that? Isn't that weird? So that makes sense then. See, that's why I was like, wait a minute, you're not trying to hide their identity. This guy, like, beheaded them, you know, like for religious reasons. I mean, what a freaking nut job. You gotta be kidding me. I figured I would just kind of see if it had been solved. Looks like it. Let me type her name in and just see where that, where was that? Mary Zaman. All right, let's go ahead and put that in here. And let's see if, like, what is it, 1999? Does that show up anywhere? Nope. 2000? Nope. 2001. Okay, well now, here now we got answers coming in here. See, that's it. Jeez. So her and one of these kids was killed by that guy. So that's obviously not connected. But man, jeez, you gotta be kidding me. Man now in Bangladesh suspected of decapitating wife, nephew in Rochester. Yeah, that's sick. Jesus. Well, I guess he's in prison for the rest of his life. Well, there you go. We went down the rabbit hole and got an answer. But anyways, you guys, think I'm going to take off. Hope you guys found it at least mildly interesting, etc. But thanks to Wild Bill Wassman, we had Shelley Sullivan, Wild Bill Wassman, Horse Teeth, Cow Teeth, Jim Lawn, Wild Bill Wassman, Zozo popped in for a minute, 75 months. Did a $2 holler. Then we had Wild Bill Wassman, Jim Lawn. Only 3 people did that. And then we had DDWM, 24 months. Wild Bill Wassman again, Wild Bill Wassman. Honeybee Fly, Wild Bill Wassman, Michelle H, Honeybee Fly, Honeybee Fly. And you guys reach Jim Lawn's challenge. Thanks, Jim Lawn, for that one. That was half of the entire night, was just that one challenge right there. And then we had Wild Bill Wassman at the end there. So there you go. All right. Well, you know, sometimes you just do other things out there. All those other cases haven't been solved, though. The one, Denise Hartley and I think also Martha Bacon, and then probably Wendy Bozeman might all be the same person. So, anyways, thank you guys. Really appreciate it. We will see you guys tomorrow. And who the hell knows what tomorrow will bring, but it's getting kind of late. So, as I always say, until next time, be safe out there.